Hey everybody, so what an inspiring speech Joe gave, huh? Was that a political speech or a homage to the blood elevator scene from The Shining? Joe's fighting fascism. Can't you tell? Kinda Hitlerian.
You nosy thing! I have hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun!
Interesting that Joe is looking like Chancellor Sutler from V for Vendetta, isn't it? Who coincidentally rode to power by creating a viral epidemic, colluding with big media and big pharma, and using FBI-like fingermen doing his personal bidding. Am I saying that they lifted everything from the movie?
Unarmed civilians in order to broadcast a message of hate.
Bollocks.
Not yet, but I'm getting there. Because as we know, the Democrats are a bunch of hacks. They're not particularly original.
Joe said MAGA Republicans were semi-fascists, a threat to democracy. And don't worry about it, because Joe's got F-15s to take them out with their little guns.
Those brave right-wing Americans who say it's all about keeping America's independent and safe. If you want to fight against the country, you need an F-15.
You're gonna need an F-15, Jack, because I got the military, I got the FBI. Me and Barack, hell, we like using drone strikes on Americans, so you better watch it, extremists. How do you define extremists? Maybe Corinne Jean-Pierre can describe it.
When you are not with where majority of Americans are, then, that is extreme. That is an extreme way of thinking.
Yeah. Joe's approval has been in the mid to high 30 range. As it happens, I'm particularly gifted in math, like Goodwill Hunting level good. So I know that mid to high 30 range is not the majority. And by the way, there were 74 million MAGA voters. That's not as fringy as he'd like it to seem. Notice the sudden emergence of cops and military personnel in the background. Well, what do you know? Brandon's rebranding. He's a law and order guy all of a sudden. As we know, crime has taken off in the deep blue cities after all the Democrats defund the police talk.
We've been talking about defunding the police.
We can shuffle some of that money around.
Suck it up. Defunding the police has to happen.
That's the Democratic Party. When it was important to cool things down, the Democrats heated things up for political gain. They want our memories put back to factory settings. But it doesn't work like that. Joe is not pro-cop and he's not pro-military. We've seen it.
Anybody, they become the enemy. They're supposed to be protecting these people.
But MAGA Republicans are semi-fascists, even though the FBI just conducted a midnight raid of Trump. They laid out a bunch of top secret files on the floor. Why? I don't know. Maybe the agents wanted to lay on the carpet and make file angels. Joe's DOJ did release an affidavit. Transparency all the way. It was right there in black and white. I think it was an affidavit. Maybe the word affidavit isn't blacked out, if you look closely enough. The thing was so redacted you could turn it into a game show. I'd like to solve the puzzle.
This is a scam and we have nothing.
That's correct. If you could put Epstein security footage on a piece of paper, it would look like this affidavit. On Twitter, CatTurd, a genius, made this point. Did the FBI leak any pictures to the New York Times of their Epstein Island raid? That's all you need to know about the FBI. Correct. I think at this point we need a total overhaul. We need a new FBI who then needs to raid the old FBI. When I finally see some prominent Democrats raided by the FBI in the middle of the night, I'll take the claims of semi-fascism semi-seriously. You just had Mark Zuckerberg finally confess on Joe Rogan's show to tamping down the Hunter laptop story, a blockbuster story, because of FBI instruction.
Hey, look, if the FBI, which I still view as a legitimate institution in this country, it's a very professional law enforcement. They come to us and tell us that we need to be on guard about something, then I want to take that seriously.
Did they specifically say you need to be on guard about that story?
No, I don't remember if it was that specifically, but it basically fit the pattern.
Rogan got this from Zuckerberg simply by asking questions. That's something the mainstream media couldn't and wouldn't report. It's not a testament to the genius of Joe Rogan. It's an indictment of the FBI, social media, mainstream media, and that's where the bulk of the power is. The FBI is your government. If they throw their hat in with a political party or go against a particular politician, they are the fascists. Quick side message, I need your help. So comment, like, subscribe, hit the bell. Thanks. In order to be devoted to the left, you really need massive memory loss. You see it with crime, and you particularly see it with COVID. It's coming out just how catastrophic it was to close schools, which all along was completely unnecessary. Rand Paul was saying this 2 years ago.
Mortality. I mean, shouldn't we at least be discussing what the mortality of children is? Mortality between 0 and 18 in the New York data approaches 0. We need to observe with an open mind what went on in Sweden, where the kids kept going to school.
Republicans wanted schools open, the Democrats didn't.
didn't. Those extremist MAGA Republicans were called science deniers. Now that we've seen our children falling drastically behind, suddenly the Democrats are history deniers.
Our schools went from 46% to open to nearly all of them being open to full-time. That was the work of this president.
You can't brand your way out of this one either, Brandon. It was the Democrats who wanted to close the schools, to close the business, to lock down, force you to mask, to force you to vax. And again, Joe Rogan, speaking with Aaron Rodgers, says what the mainstream media should be saying, but won't.
But as we look back now, let's not revise history on what actually happened and what was said. Because what was said was, you get the vax, you can't spread it or contract it.
And no one seems upset that that was a lie, including Birx, who has said that she had always known that it was not going to stop transmission and it was not going to stop people from spreading it, which is wild. That she would say, we knew that you were still going to get it, even if you got vaccinated. Which is, no one said that.
No. Pandemic of the unvaccinated.
Yeah.
And lastly, another immense story that isn't being talked about is that Ashley Biden's diary is real. Who's got two thumbs and likes showering with his underage daughter? This guy. What's being reported, though? Florida pair pleads guilty to stealing her diary. That's not the story. Wrong! The story is that Joe showered with his daughter. She said so. It's right in the diary that she wrote. Joe's an incestuous pedophile. It says so right in his daughter's diary. Excuse me, that diary is private. Yeah, but what does that have to do with it? It is private, sir. This is how upside down it is. They seem to have a news priority problem.
Look over there.
You wouldn't want these people as your doctor. We got your test back, and I'm afraid there's bad news. We're gonna have to amputate your arms and legs. But you also have high cholesterol. Wait, what'd you say about my arms and legs? Not that we needed it, but now that the diary's confirmed, it probably confirms other stories, like female Secret Service being highly offended by Joe insisting on skinny dipping in front of them. Joe is evil and belongs in prison, where he should have inappropriate showers every day, just not the kind he likes.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to comment, like, subscribe. Be sure to pass around to anybody who might like my content. And I'll see you the next time.